share with you a breathing technique that has really been fundamental to allowing me to be more reflective instead of reactive to situations. I know that in previous posts I've talked to you about the importance of really allowing yourself to be more reflective of how you're feeling versus just reacting to what society or life brings at you. And a lot of times it's hard to do that because we're just so highly stimulated that we've lost sort of that mind-body connection. So here's a really great tool to start re-engaging that mind-body connection with breath work. You'll hear a lot of people talk about breath work. It's very popular right now, and a lot of times it's hard to really understand where to start. So this technique has been really, really foundational, and it's a really nice basic tool that you can build on. And so the way that this works is that you want to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, and then you hold your breath for 7, and then you exhale for 8. So that's kind of an easy trick, 4, 7, 8, because it allows you to remind you how many seconds you want to hold your breath. And so ideally you want to do that 3 times, 4, 7, 8, 3 times to complete 1 cycle. And so ideally you want to start with just that in the beginning, doing it maybe 1 time in the morning, and then maybe 1 in the afternoon, and maybe right before bed. But really it's up to you. As long as you're attempting to do this, especially when you're feeling highly stimulated or triggered, or maybe feeling some anxiety or just feeling rushed, it gives you just a moment to really regain your center and regain clarity. And eventually, cumulatively, you'll start to realize how much more present you are in situations. It allows you to have more energy. I mean, breathing is just such a critical component to our anatomy, obviously, and a lot of us forget to breathe. I know for myself, I forget very much how to breathe, and if it wasn't for my Apple Watch dinging me to say, hey, you need to take a breath, didn't realize how little I would breathe, especially when I was hyper focused on a task. I would forget to breathe. I'd hold my breath. Or when I was feeling stressed out or rushing to get somewhere, I would forget to breathe and it would ding me. So it was just really eye-opening to see and to become aware of how little I was actually breathing. And if you can imagine, if you're in constant state of high drive and high paced and you're not breathing enough, it's not good for you for many reasons. And honestly, I think this tool is going to be a game changer for you all. So I'm going to demonstrate 1 breath cycle. And so I'm not going to count because it would be kind of weird and hard for me to hold my breath and talk at the same time. But again, it's breathing in for 4 seconds, holding it in for 7, and breathing out or exhaling for 8. So I'm going to do 1 cycle 3 times. So 3 times, and then just to demonstrate what this would look like. Okay, here it goes. And it is like having a shot of espresso. I promise you, the more and more you lean into breathing, the more energized you'll feel. And a lot of people equate it to like a euphoric feeling. But really what it is just that we're so, we put our bodies in such high like performing situations that we don't allow it for it to restore itself and to really regain some momentum. And breath is life. It literally is life, and it will uplift you, it will up level you, and you will start to realize how much more present you'll be just by allowing your body to breathe. And it's so foundational. And I want to inspire you and encourage you to add a breath practice. I like 4, 7, 8 because it's just simple, and you saw how quickly I could go through 1 cycle. We all have time to do that while you're in line waiting for coffee, while you are, I don't know, waiting for a meeting to start, just take a couple of breaths before you walk into a sales pitch. Like, there's so many moments in which you can incorporate breathing, and you will see that it will cumulative, you will feel a difference the more and more you do it. And as far as my fellow parents out there, this is also a really great tool to use with your little ones. I know for me and my current state in this house is I have a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and there's a lot of energy, and I have 2 boys, and it's just sometimes it could be a bit much. And so one of the things that I like to do is I like to lead by example. And as you may recall from a previous post, I say that our kids are little mirrors. They reflect everything they see. And so sometimes they'll see me take a moment and pause, and maybe I sit down on the ground and I take a couple of breaths, and they ask questions. Mommy, what are you doing? And I say, well, sometimes I need to breathe. And so then they want to do it with me. And so it becomes like a fun activity for us to do. It's also a great way to kind of change the energy in the room. So I highly encourage all my parents out there to really start a breath exercise with your little ones. And again, you don't really even have to push it on them. You just start doing it yourself, and they'll start asking questions about what you're doing. And it's just going to be a really great tool for them as they progress in life, and really arming our children with tools that are going to allow them to be less reactive to situations and more reflective, which is such a foundational tool for all of us. So I hope you put that into practice. I hope this inspires you. I hope that now this gives you a tangible example of what breath work is and what it can do for you and its benefits. And I would love for you to share if you go ahead and try this out for a couple of days. Comment below, let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, I'm always here for you. And with that, I will leave you for now, and we'll be in touch next time. Take care.